Hey concert choir, or whoever's watching this. This is just a quick video on a different way to understand rhythms when you're sight reading them. And because I know a lot of people can have trouble with the 1 eandahs, 2 eandahs, the 1 and 2. Like that can get really confusing really fast if you're just starting out. So this is a more introductory method that can actually be used on the more complicated rhythms that I think the regular one doesn't really work for. So here's a basic rhythm. So as you see, we have some eighth notes, quarter note, and a half note, and we have, this is in 4/4. So what we usually do is we do I just call it the 1 eandah method, where you write out the individual beats. So here, I'm gonna try and clap this rhythm out, kind of hard with the camera, but it would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now that works, but the method that I use makes it a lot easier and I think can be used for the more difficult ones. So let's take the same rhythm again, but instead, hear me out, what we're going to do is we're going to find the smallest note value. What I mean by that is eighth note, quarter note, half note, 16th note, 32nd, 64th, that note, and assign it to the number 1. Now for the rest of it, what you're going to do is either see it or write it down how many of that note appears in that specific note. So for instance, there's 1/8 note, 1, there's 2/8 notes in a quarter, so you would write a 2. There's 4/8 notes in a half, so you would write a 4. And you do this so on and so forth, and what you will get is this. Now what is this? This is actually just how long you hold each note. So what we can do actually is, because there's no 1 eandah, 2 eandah, we can actually set a tempo for ourselves here now, because this method is in reference to the individual measure, while this method is actually in reference to the notes themselves. So I'll give you an example. So if we picked 1, 1, 1, 1, here we go. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. And there you go. That's the exact same rhythm we did. The only trouble this method might have is the fact that you have to keep a steady tempo. But for simple rhythms like this, that shouldn't be an issue. Now what is this called? I call it SRA, Simplistic Rhythm Analysis. I think I made this up, so I'm just gonna name it that. Now, what happens if we take something like this? Now, don't be scared, but this is something you may see like in an audition. Maybe not this difficult, but you're definitely gonna see some 16th notes and you're definitely gonna see some ties. So, oh, by the way, this is in 3/4 this time. So that means each measure should have 3 quarter notes in total. So, imagine doing the 1 eandah, 2 eandah. That probably, it could work, but it'd be very complicated. So, if we write our numbers, notice, what's our smallest rhythm here? The 16th note. So we go throughout. So there's 1 16th note, 1 16th note, 8th notes, that's 2, 2, 2. Now this tie, what you do is you just simply add the numbers. So there's 4 16th notes in a quarter note, so that's 4, plus there are 8 16th notes in a half note. So that's 8. So you would just add that and write that as 12. I wrote a little thing here so you can just see why it's 12. And then just keep going out throughout the whole measure. So I'm going to actually do this for you at a pretty good pace, I think. So here we go. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that was very simple, and that was that complicated thing. And theoretically, this method works for anything. So here's a hard one. These are 32nd notes. Now don't be alarmed, because I don't even think the 1 eandah method has a method for dealing with 32nd notes, but simply just do what we've been doing. Take the smallest note, 32nd, count that as 1, and then find out how many is in each different note. So for instance here, 1, 1, this is a dotted 16th, so that's 3 32nds. 4, that has 8 32nd notes. So if you want, you can go throughout, but here's all the numbers. I'm going to try and sight read this as well. So 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It gets a lot, or it becomes a lot, but you can basically sight read anything like this. And an important thing to notice, when you're doing the math, if you want to check, each measure will add up to a certain number. For instance, this added up to 8, this added up to 12, and this added up to 32. And how you can check is that each measure should add up to, I'm going to try and explain this. If you cut it into eighth notes, how many eighth notes fit into the number of quarter notes that should be here? So if it's 4, 4, 4 quarter notes for this measure. And since 2 eighth notes are in each 4 quarter notes, that's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you will have, this number should be 8. Now same thing here, there's 12, so that means, or 3, 4, sorry, so that means there's 3 quarter notes, and we're cutting it into 16th notes, so that's 4. So 3 times 4 is 12. And here, it's 4, 4, and we're doing, there's 4 beats, or sorry, 4 quarter notes, so 4 times 8 is 32. So this adds up to 32, and this adds up to 32. And another quick thing to notice, this rhythm is the same thing as our first one, just with a different reference beat. So yeah, thank you. This was simplistic rhythm analysis, and I hope it helped.